Hi, my name is Aaron Gwynn. Today we're going to show you how to install the FTD foam insert into your mountain bike tire. To do so, I've got my race mechanic, John Hall, with me. So I'll let the pro take it from here.
Let the air out of your tire. If you have a valve core remover, like I do, you can make this faster. So this tire and wheel combo we've already used, which is why it's dirty and dusty. So you're going to want to remove your old sealant, just like how you would change your tire normally. Remove one side, pop your bead off, and remove the other. So the next step is you're going to want to remove your previous valve stem if you have a tubeless setup. Obviously, if you have tubes in there prior, then you won't need to do that. And then you're going to want to thoroughly inspect and clean your rim bed and your rim tape. Make sure there's no peeling or damage to the rim. So it looks like my rim tape has been migrating a little bit. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and replace that right now. So I just want to make sure that I have a nice clean surface before installing my rim tape. The FTD foam insert kit does not come with rim tape. So if you need to replace it, make sure you have your own rim tape on hand before you remove it. So the next step is to install your FTD foam system valve stem. One of these will come with each one of your kits. There's an O-ring right here that's going to sit at the base of your valve stem. When you install your valve stem, it's just like any other tubeless valve stem. There's a large cutout on top, and you're going to want to make sure that that large cutout faces each side of your rim bed, such as this. And just like any other valve stem, you're going to install your lock ring on the outside, taking caution not to go too tight. I like to say tighten it like a human, not a superhero. Now we're ready to install the FTD foam system. So the first step, what you're going to want to do is install your tire, one side at a time. So we're going to start with the first side, just like you would normally do for any other normal tire or setup. So now that we have our tire installed one side of the rim, we're going to find our seam of the foam insert that we spoke of earlier and go 180 degrees from the valve stem and insert that. Now what I like to do is lay it in about halfway and then begin to put my tire on. What that does is it actually holds the insert down for you so it doesn't slip out of the rim bed. And then you're going to want to slowly take both your hands and just gently walk the insert into the rim bed, being careful not to twist any of it because it is an oval shape and is meant to sit down inside there nice and flush. So now that we have that in there, one extra step that I like to do is to take my hand or my finger and slip it underneath there, and run it along there just to ensure that the oval bit is set inside the rim bed nice and straight and isn't twisted. So our next step, after we've got our bead about 3/4 of the way on, is to put our tire sealant in. For 27.5 inch wheels, we're going to use 3 ounces, and for 29 inch wheels, we're going to use 4 ounces. I've got a 2-ounce cup on hand here, so I'm going to fill this 1.5 times. Just pour straight in. And we're going to go about half a cup. It should be roughly 1 ounce.
I don't have a cup, so I'm manually doing it. Measuring. That's about 2 ounces. Maybe 3.
Next step is to use the 2 zip ties that come in your kit to act as a third hand to help me get the rest of the tire bead on the wheel. So what we want to do is get them installed at these points right here and right here. It may be different depending on your tire and rim, how far you can get it. I've got it extra tight around there. That's to ensure that my bead doesn't walk away from me as I work my way around. Another trick that I like to do is go one side a little bit and then walk my way over and work this side a little bit. So I work myself into the middle, taking small bites at a time. I'll go back over here. And this is where it's going to get difficult for a lot of you. Another thing we can do to give yourself a little bit more room is to go to the opposite side of your tire, squeeze in on the bead, and get that bead to sit down in the rim channel. What that does is allow a little more extra room and play down here to work with, and makes your tire install that much easier. So like I said, we're going to work side to side, and as you can see, it's moving in just a little bit by little bit. Small bites are key. You don't want to try and go to your middle and go all at once. That's when you start breaking your tire levers or damaging your rim, or you can damage your rim tape inside and get leaks when you go to pump everything up. As you can see, pops right on there. You're going to start with the first side, just like you would normally do.
Oh, didn't even need those zip ties. Just went in there nice and smooth.
So now that we have, once everything's on there, you're free to cut your zip ties off. Just take a pair of side cutters. Now that we've got our sealant installed and the tire bead mounted, what I like to do is install the wheel on the bike and pump it up to pressure.
Runs 160 front end. It's well known for being able to handle.
Now, you can use an air compressor or just your regular hand pump, whatever works best for you. I like to use the hand pump, it works just fine. For those of you that have trouble with the bead setting, a quick trick you can do is just get a little soap and water and run it around the bead of the rim and the tire. Provides a slippery surface for that bead to set up on there and dries quickly and doesn't affect your sealant or your tire seal. It's important not to exceed the tire pressure recommended by the tire manufacturer, printed somewhere on your sidewall. For Onza, it's 35 to 65 PSI. What I like to do is stop at 35 PSI. That's usually plenty for a bead to set. It's important too to watch your bead as you pump it up to ensure that it's not going to blast off, and to make sure that one little section isn't sticking anywhere. So at this point, I'll run around and check. We're good on the left side. And we're good on the right side. Now the tire's all beaded, I like to take my pressure gauge to ensure that I'm not exceeding the pressure the tire manufacturer has set for maximum pressure. Right now I'm at 35 PSI. So I'm going to leave it there. Another thing to do is to spread your sealant around the inside of your tire. At this point, you can spin it like this.
76 degree seat angle.
What that's going to do is spread your sealant around the inside of your tire and the insert, and seal any little leakages around your rim bead or any little pores in your tire. To ensure that your bead is set properly, take a look where your tire meets your rim. There's a fine line on all tires, we call it the tire line. That will be set even distance from your rim all the way around. After that, what I like to do is take the bike out of the stand and ride it around in the street for about 10 minutes. Carving to the left, carving to the right, riding in straight line, braking, also riding around in circles.
Well, I just got back from riding it around. Kind of did some weavies to break in the bead and seal. Now I'm going to go take a little pedal around the block. Hopefully it sets up tonight. And when I get up in the morning, I can go do a nice gravel ride.